Come on over, come on over. All right, we got a light group. I was hoping for more. I was looking for an audience for my speech that I'm going to give. My speech is going to start with this right here. You guys recognize these, right? Rubber band. All right, that's the key to hitting right there, that rubber band. Okay, I'm going to explain how we get to that being the key to hitting. So, who thinks they're an expert at shooting a rubber band? Any of you? Expert? You pretty good? All right, let me see what you got. Oh, you shoot, how do you shoot it, man? He shoots it like a gun. Okay. All right, so I usually shoot it like this. Man, how do you shoot it like a gun? That's awesome. Okay, can you shoot it? Okay, here's what I want you to do. One time I want you to keep your trigger finger straight and let it go. Next time I want you to bend your trigger finger. All right, so you got that far. All right, stay right there. Oh! All right, let's see if you can get to me. This time you got to bend the finger a little bit. Didn't quite make it. It was to about right here. All right, we're going to talk about hitting a home run in light of this rubber band. There's basically two components to this. I'm not going to shoot it. What are they? Describe the two components to this shooting. What's going on? Describe what you see. Tension, okay. Pulling one side back. All right, if you were to describe the most important part of this to make the rubber band fly as far as possible, what would you say is the most important? Pulling back as far as you can? What happens if you pull it back too far? It breaks. So you got to know how far is far enough and not too far, right? What is constant in this scenario? The finger? Okay. What if the finger does that? You lose power. You just saw that, didn't you? All right. What is really the constant? I can keep my finger straight. I can bend my knuckle. What stays constant? Well, I could, I might. What stays constant all the time, regardless? Where your back finger is. Back finger, what if I go here? It changes, so it's not constant. My hand? I could change it. Keep looking. There's one more thing. What stays constant? The tip of my finger. The tip of my finger, whether I bend or not, the tip of my finger is connected to the rubber band on one end, right? Okay? Today I'm going to explain to you the key to hitting, and if you want to keep these, you can. You're welcome. The key to hitting home runs, which we're not talking about hitting the ball over the fence every time. We're talking about how to hit the ball as fast and as far as we're capable. Whatever God has given you, whatever work ethic you produce in collaboration with that talent is going to be your home run, okay? And I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of people out there talking about what creates power, what is going to make you an effective hitter, launch angle, and various other terms that are out there, okay? And I'm going to explain to you the key constant to what makes you the most powerful on a consistent basis, okay? I'm going to tell you kind of my upbringing, my story. So there are three kind of progressions, I think, in the process of learning how to hit home runs or being a home run hitter, okay? There's number one, you want to, okay? Number two is that you try to hit home runs. And number three, which is the key to the whole thing, is to learn how to hit home runs, all right? I was 13 years old, and I wanted to be a home run hitter. So I drilled a hole through the butt end of my barrel, right, and stuffed cork down in there and patched it all up and painted it all back, a wood bat, right, so that I could hit like a tennis ball with trampoline. And it works. Sammy Sosa knows it works, and it's for real, all right? I didn't even play that year, but I happened to play in a random game using that bat, and I crushed a ball for a home run. So I knew it worked. And guys in the pros, minor leagues, et cetera, they're boning bats, and you can key the grooves in your bat to pack down the tar or the pitch that's inside there that brings the bat together, to harden it. A lot of different things that guys do, some legal, some illegal, all right? Go through high school and college. We played in huge parks in high school. I hit 1 home run, but then was recruited all over the place. Go to UCLA, I hit probably 15 to 18 home runs, whatever it is, over 3 years. Not a lot. My entire college career and in high school was about trying to hit home runs without knowing how to do it. Then I get into pro ball and I start getting taught. And they're in professional baseball, guys, they don't get to eat unless they have success, right? As a player or as a coach. So the difference between college and professional baseball is 2 different worlds, all right? It's like the difference from being on Earth and being on the moon, okay? So as I got to play more and more, I began to develop my ability not just to hit, but to hit for power, okay? And if you look at my stats, I think I hit about almost 80 home runs over the course of my 9 years professional baseball. But my walks and strikeouts were just about the same. So it's not like today where the strikeouts are up here, your walks are way down there, and you got a few home runs in between, right? So I was still able to grow and develop and progress while still maintaining a decent average, decent walk rate, fewer strikeouts, and so forth. So the goal isn't to just be a home run hitter who strikes out all the time and every now and then catches up to one and hits a home run when it's 15-0, and the home run doesn't matter whether you're ahead or behind, right? The key is to be able to hit the ball consistently as fast as you're capable, and ultimately you get the right launch angle, right pitch, and all of that. Boom, you hit it out, left, right, wherever. I couldn't hit a ball past straightaway left field in college, basically. Every now and then I'd hit one to center accidentally, but I was just yank, because I was trying my whole college career to be a home run hitter without knowing how to do it. As I progressed, developed, started hitting more home runs, then I became a teacher like Dave. Dave runs this facility. I had my own facility with a partner, and I began to teach kids on how to hit however I knew how to hit, however I was taught, and however I learned from what information was available to me. Today you have a ton of information, right? What's true? What's philosophy? How do you know? Right? What I'm sharing with you now is to help give you a little bit of a vision for what's possible. All right? So I get done with professional baseball, I start teaching. There's a kid who's 10 years old, 11 years old, playing for one of our teams. The guy couldn't catch, he was a catcher, he couldn't catch, he couldn't throw, he couldn't run, and he couldn't hit. Not a very good guy to have on the team at that point. But he had this one unique ability to hit for power that was the weirdest thing. Every now and then he'd catch up and just kill the mess out of a ball. 2 years, 3 years later, he shows back up, we start training. The first day I saw him, he was lean, he'd been working out, 6 foot tall, not a huge guy, and he just crushing balls. And I said that day, first day I saw him back, in the cage, just like this. I said, this guy, if he doesn't get hurt, in 4 years of high school baseball, he'll be the #1 high school home run hitter in Georgia baseball history. Sounds crazy, right? Last day of his senior year in the playoffs at Providence Christian High School, he hit the home run leader, tying home run to tie Micah Owings, who's a big-time professional guy. This kid, Christian Stewart, tied the record for home runs in Georgia high school history, and then became a big leaguer with the Detroit Tigers, went on to Tennessee, scholarship. He could run all of a sudden, he could somehow throw. You know the name Christian Stewart?
I think I've heard of it.
Okay. Detroit Tigers for a bunch of years, I think 3 or 4, right? He went from nothing, like bad athlete, to the big leagues. because he had this one unique ability to hit for power, okay? I was probably 37 years old. I probably didn't swing a bat for 10 years, besides, you know, a few demonstrations with kids that I'd been teaching one-on-one and some stuff like that. And we get invited to look at some technology that was based on the Lord of the Rings movie series, right? You've heard of Lord of the Rings, right? So they had some technology where they'd put you in a suit and put all these, I don't know, electrodes, etc., on you, and you could go in and they would test your biomechanics and so forth. I go in there, I start hitting, and you know, back in my day, we didn't have radar guns on us. You know, they had radar guns for pitchers, but nobody knew anybody's exit velo, launch angle, none of that stuff, all right? So I get in there and I start swinging in this laboratory, and I hadn't really swung the bat in a long time, and I'm hitting balls 109 miles an hour, right, without any practice, basically, right? Because of the muscle memory that I developed in professional baseball, it was still there, and I was still able to think my way through how to put a swing on a ball that generates the most torque that I could produce given wherever I was physically that day, okay? And one of the hardest things to do as a coach is to teach your son, all right? My son Reeve, you may have started working with him a little bit, right? He played 1 year in high school with Dom as a senior. Dom was a sophomore. They were on the same team. Dom started, played every game. Reeve never played as a senior. He played in college for 4 years. Division III, junior college, Division I in California. He probably played, and he played one summer where he played probably 35% of the time. The rest of his college career, he probably played 10 to 15% of the time cumulatively over 4 years, and he played Division I with some of the best players in the country on one of the best teams in the country that year. Fall before his senior year, they wrapped up the fall, they've been hitting, playing games, off the machine, all that stuff, right? Coach comes in, hey guys, who do you think hit the ball the hardest this fall? You know, 6'3", 240 guy, 6'2", 210 guy. No, Reeve Hawley, 5'11", 175, 111 miles an hour. Hardly ever played, 111 miles an hour. How do you produce that without ever playing? It's hard to do, right? In part, he was learning from me for 10 years, right? From when he was a little kid all the way up. And so we gradually built in his ability, all right? And that's what we're gonna do here. You guys have the opportunity to learn how to go from, you know, wherever you are to produce some things that will shock you if you're willing to hone in and be disciplined about what we're doing, okay? And that rubber band drill, that little point at the tip of my finger, okay? That represents my lead plant foot, okay? That's the constant. We do all kinds of different things in our swing, prepping our swing, start with an open stance, closed stance, right? All this kind of hitching and jockeying around, it doesn't matter. When you get to your plant foot, can you hold it constant, just like a pole vaulter sticks the pole into that little gap, right, that causes the pole to now start to bend and create tension and torque him up over that bar, right? Or like the tennis player who's hitting that backhand and gets onto that lead leg and creates torque through his body. Because what happens is we create momentum going forward, that lead leg now becomes our anchor, okay? And what happens is the momentum going forward, landing at balance, anchored down with the lead foot, creates a collision of forces back through the middle of our body. We got momentum shifting as we stride, slam on the brakes with our lead foot, which causes now a collision of forces, kind of like a tsunami. When a tsunami hits, the water recedes from the shoreline all the way out and water starts to accumulate. It starts to build back up, and it creates a gigantic wave. And the same thing is happening here. When you land balanced, you've got to get your foot to a place where you can now create torque by creating pressure down through that foot. That foot right there is the whole key, right? It eliminates all the work that I used to do as a hitter trying to hit home runs. Now, from your head to your toe, there's a lot of pieces involved along the way, right? We know that. There's stuff that you got to do. But we're going to talk the next 9 or so weeks about how you blend all of those little pieces into that right there. You learn how to do that, you'll start to shock yourself, okay? Because once you get there and you can begin to hold that in position, now your brain and your eyes take over. Whatever your brain sees and says to you, now that holds you into place, and you're either outside pitch, inside pitch, middle pitch, low, high, whatever it is, and now you've locked your position into place, and you just let it ride from there. Whatever happens, happens. All right? A lot of times I see a lot of hitters wanting to kind of bend through some stuff. The moment you bend, what happens? You lose power, just like you saw with that rubber band, right? You're always going to be bent. You always want to be flexible, all right? But the moment your brain says hit, bam. And I'm going to tell you one last story. So I'm out hitting with my kids. I'm 40-ish, I'll say. Yeah, probably 39, 40. We're out in our yard, home plate's here, house across the street, big blue house. It's 200 to the base of the foundation of their house. All right, we marked it off. My kids would throw their 10, 11, whatever. They'd throw easy, and I'd have a wood bat. Tennis balls, right? What happens when you hit a tennis ball? Huh? It bounces? Well, it collapses, right? Just like when you can squeeze a tennis ball down, when you hit one, it squeezes down and then expands, right? So you hit it, it squeezes into the bat, and then it shoots out, right? So you can't hit a tennis ball as far as a baseball, right? A baseball has a hard core, right? Tennis ball doesn't have a hard core, so you can only hit it so far. I can only hit it to the base of the house, and I was frustrated as heck because I thought, man, I should be able to hit at least on top of the house or at least hit the window, right? And I never could. So finally I just said, you know what? And this is when I never really learned how to use my lower half. And I was starting to develop an understanding of how to do it just kind of on my own. And this is all through professional baseball. Nobody really ever talked about the lower half and how to operate it. So I just said, okay, I'm going to get up here and I'm just going to start swinging like I don't even have any arms. And I'm just going to unleash my lead leg torque and let whatever happens, happen. I hit the next 5 balls, whatever it was, 10 balls down the road, over the house. Simply because of that movement right there. That constant, the tip of my finger, that constant that creates that torque. All right? So, that's going to be the key to how you go from whatever your power is today to kind of like shocking yourself, okay? It won't come immediately, but it'll come over time. So what we're going to do is, any questions? You ready to hit? All right, we're going to do velo today. You're going to do it off the tee, short toss, and batting practice. All right, we're going to get your numbers, okay? And we're going to compare those numbers at the end of the 12 weeks we have here to see how you guys are doing, given kind of the explanation I just gave you.